All right, we just finished with all the pageantry for the key ambassadors.
Well, do they do Antiques Roadshow? Yeah, they do. I mean, one of the guys that I'm working with now is I know the Keeler brothers. They're on, I call them right now. We got a conversation.
Hey folks, we're going to start about a couple of minutes. We just finished with all the program announcements in the big room, including the Chilean ambassador speaking. So we'll see who else might come over in the next minute or two, then we'll get started. Thanks for your patience.
I know you know
And the vertical of the art, is we're starting with America. The first thing we're going to add is European. So that vertical is just
We never go earn them.
Can't put it on that page.
There will be some crossover. That's more if it's just to serve the same customer. So we want to bring them new. But the first vertical is the one I want maybe automobile.
And they're willing to do
Heritage have the handbag market.
We're going to beer, I'm going to beer. I'm like All right, let's just go ahead and get started. Thanks once again for your patience. So I'm Kevin Wiant. I'm the executive director for the Venture Cafe Foundation. Come on in. Don't be shy. This will be a good crowd, a good place to get some new insights. Thanks for coming out this evening. This is one of our fireside chats with people who have got a lot of knowledge to share with the startup community. So tonight we invited Woody Benson, who's going to talk a bit about his background both as an entrepreneur as well as a long-term investor. We do encourage you to get your questions ready, because I'll ask a few questions, get things warmed up, but it's really an opportunity for you to talk to somebody who has had a lot of experience on both sides of the desk, and for you to get some insights and thoughts about how you're planning your companies. Feel free to tweet, do the social media stuff. So we got Woody's handle up there, Venture Cafe, mine, anybody else you want, you can ask around the room. Okay, so that's kind of the game plan for the evening. Woody, you're going to kick off. Just tell us your story. What's your startup stories, successes, failures? How'd you get into being an investor? Get it warmed up.
Okay, so everyone's got a story, and everyone in a company, you can trace their roots to when they were a kid. So when I was a kid, I had a lobster business. So I was like a little entrepreneur, as a kid. And to college, I didn't go to classes and I didn't buy books and all that. And I worked in a restaurant and wanted to make a lot of money. And I was dating a girl who had a job at a software company programming on a VAX 11780, which is an old deck machine, and writing accounting software, and she had a blue Celica. And I'm like, I got to get some of that. I don't know what it is, so I figured, okay, computers are the thing. My brother told me, this is 1980, my brother told me there's 3 industries that are going to take off: solar energy, cable TV, microcomputers. I just like, okay, I'll get into computers. And that was it. And for all you people who overthink things, That was it. So I got a job in a retail sales floor at a computer store in Charlestown, Mass, making $140 a week on straight commission. And these are the early days of the computing industry, so I was lucky enough to grow with that whole industry. And within 2 months, I'm running a chain of stores, and I worked with guys who taught me how to merchandise and buy and sell computers, Apple computers mostly. Became the second largest Apple dealer in the country, which meant Steve Jobs would come out and all those guys, because Boston was the place where all the Apple computers were announced at the Boston Computer Society.
Slight side channel here. So Woody and I were in the room when Steve Jobs came to Boston and announced the initial Macintosh.
And that was '82.
And that was the first time he did the public announcement, right?
Yep.
So everybody came to Boston to do the public announcement.
And by the way, in '81, when he came, he only ate strawberries. So we had to take him to places and work with the restaurant, strawberry soup, strawberry dinner, you can bake them, you can broil, that whole thing. And, but I learned this skill early on in retail and distribution. And I learned it from guys that were in the manufacturer's rep business. And if anyone knows what this is, these are firms that bring merchandise in and sell it. And the guy that taught me was the guy who brought Pioneer Electronics to America. So I then joined his firm, and for 5 years, I learned everything about everything in distribution and merchandising, and we were reps for probably 170 different companies worth of stuff, and probably sold a lot of stuff. But one of my partners was doing this thing called diligence for a firm called Greylock, and Greylock is one of the top VC firms, which started in West Newton Hill on a street called Greylock, and venture capital back then was this little secret thing. There weren't no websites, they didn't have phone numbers, but he was doing this thing called diligence. I'm like, the hell is that? And he kind of explained all this stuff to me, and I started to understand it, and I programmed myself at that moment that what I want to do at some point is I want to go work in a venture-backed firm as a sales marketing guy, and I want to make the VC a lot of money. Then I want the VC to hire me as a CEO for one of their companies, and then I want to become a VC. So lo and behold, that's what happened. After the manufacturer's rep firm, I went to work for the largest software company in the world, Lotus Development, right here, right around the corner. Make us a 123 Lotus Notes and all that. And I ran all distribution for it, and I can tell you all sorts of stories there. But from there, that's when I got involved in startups. So the first company I went to, right around the corner here, Shiva Corporation, a Kleiner Perkins, a guy named John Doerr on the board, and Henry McCants from Greylock. And I sat there with John Doerr, and he interviewed me. He's like, "What do you want to do?" I'm like, "John, I want to make you a lot of money as a VP of sales and marketing of this company. Then I want to be a CEO of one of your companies, and then I want to be a partner. What other questions do you have?" That's it. So I don't know how that all happened, but I pre-programmed myself. And then I went to this company called Shiva, right place, right time. And it was an intuitive feeling I had that they had a product in the lab that was going to be really important. And it was a networking product. And I was lucky enough to